Hello everyone and welcome to another devlog for Powerups. It's me, Vector Game Dev. In this devlog I'm going to be talking about power-ups, interactions, and UI improvements. So let's start off with Powerups. Powerups is a system that I've been creating for a while and it's now fully integrated with the game, and I'm at the stage where I can actually create the power-ups themselves. So I feel like this is a good moment to stop and just kind of go over like what the system is and what it's intended to do and how it can actually improve the gameplay. Alright, so the power-ups work in a similar fashion to, for example, Mario Kart power-ups. So the power-up pickups actually give the player a random power-up, and then I have the power-ups split between humans and viruses. So humans have a set of power-ups that they can get, and viruses have a set of power-ups that they can get that are different from the humans. So one of the reasons I decided to add power-ups to the game was to make the gameplay a bit more chaotic, and hopefully that can make the game a bit more fun to play. Because what I feel like when I was just testing the game, and even though it's in the very early stages, is that if the game is too simple and too like straight to the point, it might get a bit boring. So I've added power-ups and interactions, which I'm going to be talking about later, just to kind of add a bit more chaos to the gameplay. Hopefully that can make the game a bit more fun as well. Yeah, so just to wrap up, the power-up system is actually in place now. It's integrated with every other system that I have in game, so it works just fine. And what I'm going to be doing, and as I work on the gameplay, I'm going to be adding 1 or 2 power-ups. Maybe I'll try to add like 1 power-up a week, and then maybe I can talk about it in the devlog as well. But yeah, the goal is to add them one by one and just kind of test to see if it's actually fun to play. And the good thing about the power-up system being integrated with the other systems in my game is that I can pretty much create power-ups and I don't have to recompile the game again, unless I have to change the code. But the way I'm doing things, I'm hoping that most power-ups won't need a change in the code itself, so I might be able to just add power-ups and tweak them and not even have to recompile the game, which is great, and then players can actually see the difference right away. Alright, next up is interactions. So interactions, the goal of the level interactions is similar to what the power-ups are doing. So they are there to add a bit more chaos and make the gameplay a bit more dynamic and help to add depth to the game. The way the interactions are working in the game at the moment are, you can either do by pressing the button, by being close to an object, or I have added like a weight to some elements, and I think I talked on previous devlogs, but for example, I've added like a pressure plate. So if the human steps on it, the pressure plate activates, and then you can activate or trigger different interactions to happen. And the way the system is working now is that I can create pretty much any interaction that I want, and the whole system already activates the activates, call the right methods, and give the right parameters to the places that it needs. So right now it's actually super easy to kind of create them. It's just a matter of actually defining or designing the interactions and then actually implementing, testing, and then see if it's worth, or kind of redo it again until I find the good interactions. And I also feel like the interactions specifically are going to depend on the level. So the level layout and the kind of elements that are in the level are going to determine what interactions are going to work and what interactions are not going to be so useful or fun to have on the level. So there's also this element of level design, which I'm going to be hopefully touching more on next week. But yeah, once the level design is done, then I can kind of define the interactions that I want on the level. But because this core system is in place, now I can kind of create them. And if the interactions fall into one of the 3 categories that I said before, most times I don't even have to recompile again, so this falls back to the power-up situation. which means I can change the game. I don't even need to send a new build to the players. They can just play the game and see the difference right away, which is great. And I worked like for months together working. All right, lastly, I want to talk about some UI improvements. And this is one of the things that are gonna happen more and more as I progress now, because I'm focusing on gameplay and the gameplay experience. So UI and user experience and just polish in general to give the player a better experience is something that I'm gonna be working on constantly. So basically, I did some changes to the main menu and the level selection, and I'm actually doing some changes on widgets on how the player can navigate through the UI, and also adding little effects like if the player is using the mouse, once they hover over like a widget, the colors change, so it indicates that the player is actually there. So adding like feedback to the interfaces and the actions of the player is also important. So yeah, so basically gameplay and the experience is going to be something that I'm going to be working on. But after, several changes and then polishing these little things, I hope the game can be a lot better than what it is today. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this far. Just wanted to share some progress that I'm doing now. A lot of progress that I'm doing is kind of hard to see in action, but there are a lot of things happening on the back end, like things that you don't actually see, but it's progress to make the final product. But yeah, I just thought I would share that with you guys. And as always, if you can leave a like, that'll help me a lot. If you want to see how this game comes to life, or if you are interested in more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed. And also I live stream on Twitch every Thursday the development of this game, and also on Sundays I do a game development challenge, which is I make a small prototype in 6 hours and then I upload to itch.io. And yeah, it's super fun actually. Really enjoy doing those. I'll leave all of the links in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.